Welcome back to our channel Classify Community. So today is the lecture 3 and we will be dealing about the Hall effect. Here we will be knowing the definition, expression of Hall coefficient, application of Hall effect. So without wasting more time, let's begin. So Hall effect. What is Hall effect? In simple words, we can say that when a magnetic field is applied to a current carrying conductor in a direction perpendicular to that flow of current, a potential difference or a transverse electric field is created across the conductor. This phenomena is known as Hall effect. That means whenever we apply a magnet, you can see this diagram. So whenever we apply a magnetic field to a current carrying conductor at that point which is perpendicular, that means electric current is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field, you can see. So at that point of time, a potential difference which gets occur in the, or we can say across a conductor. This is the basic phenomena of Hall effect and we will be knowing this in detail in few minutes. And it was discovered by Edwin Hall in 1879. So let's move on to the next. Now is what is Hall voltage and in detail what is Hall effect. So the voltage or electric field produced due to the application of magnetic field is also referred to as Hall voltage or Hall field. That means that voltage which gets occur or the electric field which gets produced due to the applied magnetic field, that is that phenomena, or we can say that is known as, or that is referred as what? Hall voltage or Hall field. Now we know that there are two types of semiconductor. One is p-type, one is n-type. So in n-type what happens? The free electrons are the majority carriers and the holes are the minority carriers. In other words, we can say there are more number of there are more number of electrons rather than holes, and it's just the opposite for the n-type. It has more number of free electrons. Sorry, sorry sorry we are doing the n-type only. So in n-type what happens? There are more number of electrons rather than holes, whereas for the p-type we have what? We have more number of holes rather than free electrons. Okay, so now for the Hall effect in detail, we get an idea about the p-type and n-type semiconductor, that in p-type we have more number of holes and in n-type we have more number of electrons. But how we can identify which semiconductor is p-type or which semiconductor is n-type? So we can identify with this effect, that is the Hall effect. So we know that free electrons and holes are very small and we can't see them directly. So that's why we will use this Hall effect to identify it. So whenever a voltage is applied, to a conductor or semiconductor, electric current starts flowing through it. That means the current starts flowing through it. In conductor, the electric current is conducted by the free electrons. That means whenever there is a conductor, only free electrons will flow, whereas in semiconductor both free electrons and holes is there. So the free electrons in a semiconductor or conductor always try to flow in what? In a straight path. However, due to various collision with atoms, free electrons slightly changes their path. But if the applied voltage is very much strong at that point of time, this free electron forcefully has to follow the straight path. And this happens only if no other forces are applied to it in other direction. Now you can see a diagram which is given here. So if we apply the force in the other direction using the magnetic field, then the free electrons in the conductor or the semiconductor starts changing their direction. Okay, now consider a material, either this can be a semiconductor or a conductor, right? So whenever a voltage is applied with electric field, then at that point of time it starts moving in the positive x-axis, that is from left to right. and if a magnetic field applied to its current carrying conductor or semiconductor perpendicular to the flow of current, at that point of time the magnetic field moves towards the z direction, whereas the electric field starts moving to the negative direction of the y. This phenomena in detail which we are studying, this is basically what is our Hall effect. Now, Hall effect was named after Edwin Hall, that is a scientist, and he discovered this phenomenon in 1879, which I already told. Now, moreover, we can determine the type of material easily by this effect. Now, if a voltage is positive, so whenever the voltage is positive, it will be P type, and whenever the voltage is negative, then it will be N type. Now, now you can see a mathematical expression which is given, that is VH is equal to IBQ divided by QND. So, where I is our what? Current flowing through the sensor, or we can say to the material, and B is the magnetic field strength, Q is a charge, N is the number of charge carriers per unit volume, and D is the thickness of sensor, or we can say material. Okay. Now, you will see that VH is a what? Hall voltage. So, Hall voltage is perpendicular to our current. So, we can write VH, or VH is proportional, sorry, not perpendicular, proportional to our current. Similarly, VH is also proportional to our magnetic field strength, that is B. But we can see that VH is inversely proportional to our mobile charges, that is number of mobile charges, that is a Q, and our thickness of the material also, that is D. Okay, till this I am clear, I hope. So this is the mathematical expression for the Hall voltage. So whenever we need to produce a high Hall voltage, we need a very thin material, that is very thin material, and we need to have very few mobile charges per unit volume. So now we will be seeing the expression of Hall effect, Hall coefficient, sorry. Now we know that Hall field, or we can say Hall voltage, is proportional to what? To our current density and the magnetic field. So we know that what? Current density is what? J is equal to I by A. So if our J is current density is proportional to I, that means Hall voltage is what? Also proportional to current density, we can say, right? So we know that E is proportional to B, that is the magnetic field. This is our what? Magnetic field strength. J is our current density. Now, so EH is equal to REJB, where RH is what? Our Hall coefficient. So our Hall coefficient expression is what? If we take this JB, that is our what? Current density and magnetic field. So we get this expression for our Hall coefficient, that is RH is our what? RH is our Hall coefficient, whereas rest of them are EH. EH is our Hall voltage. You can also write as VH. Here we have written EH. J is our current density, and B is our magnetic field strength. So now let's move on to the application. So there are basically 6 types of application. So Hall effect is used to find whether a semiconductor is N type or P type. It is also used to find carrier concentration. It is also used to calculate the mobility of charge carriers, that is charge carriers are either free electrons or holes. Hall effect is also used to measure conductivity. Hall effect is used to measure AC power and the strength of the magnetic field. Also, Hall effect is used in an instrument called Hall effect multiplier. So these are the basic things about Hall effect, that is the definition, who discovered, when it got discovered, what is in detail about the Hall effect, in what direction magnetic field flows or electric field flows, and expressions, mathematical expressions, and the application. So I hope all of you they understood the lecture of today. Thank you for watching. Till then, be happy.
Wow, that's impressive! You have completed a magic today. For more videos, subscribe. Join our Facebook group and Instagram page for group discussion and live magazine videos for exam preparation in an hour. We start at Classfly community for students to learn from a friend in a simple way and support them in their own languages. If you are willing to be that one friend who saves us at the exam night preparation, then please join us by visiting classfly.in.